Ah, hello there, consumers of cringe. Welcome to the Chocolate Factory. Today I'm a little bit under the weather, but the show must go on. And my god, what a show it'll be today, because we're going to carry on with the cringe corridor. I have a few extra ideas floating around. I've tested a few different things, and I think we might be onto something here. And as a reminder, this is only just a first draft. You know, this is just testing out a few different things. I'm not necessarily going to keep the hilarious but very silly Room of Inconveniences. Might be a little bit too lethal, to be honest. And I think it would be remiss of me not to use the entire mountain. We've got so much room for activities, and we're barely using any of it. So the one thing I have done between episodes here is I've swapped out the remote doors for these submersible walls. Turns out we had those all along yesterday. It's just they were just a generic looking wall. Yeah, there they are. They just look like a plain old wooden wall, so they blended into the background. Those actually kind of work perfectly with the idea of Mr. Cringe being the sadistic overlord of the entire thing. So he has to sit and man at this utility console. When he's doing that, we get full control over submerging or raising up certain walls, which are on a little timer there. That's so much better, in my opinion, than just flicking switches. And more importantly, it works perfectly with the prisoners too. For some reason, they didn't like the remote doors, but this works fine. We can still use the prisoners to test the gauntlet, which really is just the cherry on the cake there. Oh, poor Anju, you were so close, my friend. What happened? First thing I need to test is whether or not the gas vents work now. So somebody said yesterday that if you turn them on and off, then toggle the gas, it should fix it. It's a safety feature to prevent your builders instantly killing themselves, which is fair enough. I think that's probably quite handy to have. I'd have been a little bit upset if I accidentally killed little sprinkles. Does that work? In theory, yes. Was that it? Gas is on, right? Valve is open. Ah! Hey, there you go. It's fairly slow, so these retractable walls are going to be super handy. How long does it take to fill up the room with that? A bloody long time. Oh, sprinkles, be careful, little guy. Okay, turn that back off for now then. We know it works. We just need to basically have it venting when people start coming through. What happens if you walk into that? I assume it's pretty bad for you, right? No? Oh, toxic buildup. Oh, that's a fun way to do it. See if we can keep raising and lowering the walls just for the fun of it. Now, this stuff is also explosive too, right? So we'll let some people through, see if they get through on the timing. Anybody else who's left, because this is the final room, the entire thing, we'll just clear them out with the automated turrets. And by automated turrets, I mean mounting incendiary launchers onto those turret bases. Somebody said if we get the actual turret research, that will allow us to build the automated variants of the turret bases. So we still need blowback operation. We are currently researching siege equipment that gives me a whole new idea for a kill room, but we'll get to work on the ones we've got. I feel like this is always going to be a permanent feature. This one we just need to help thin out if we get too many survivors. But all these other rooms, they're just proof of concept. We're just going to test out some fun different things. So I think I'm going to go ahead and dig out a little bit more in the mountains so that we can test out the hot and cold rooms. Now we've got to make them equidistant. I guess the easiest way to do that would just be to draw two relatively equally sized rooms where the door come into the center of this one at the same point. So have it lead off of those rooms at the same amount. Oh, this would make for a really nice way of adjusting the difficulty as well. So this is the way that we can have one room that's hot, one room that's cold. Might not be big enough, but if we build a little maze, that will force them to go through it. And we want to make them go through where they start getting burns or frostbite, but again, not so that it kills them. And then ideally, I think we make that easier than whatever we put in the blue room. Maybe that'll be the mad squirrels that we let loose. We're gonna have to do a lot of squirrel breeding if we want to keep on top of that. Or we use Born Morpher to turn them back into squirrels. We take whoever survives in that final room and we just put them in Porn Morpher vats. That's a good idea. But we want to make this room at the bottom substantially harder than this one. Again, this is all stuff that I'll replace eventually. Substantially harder than this one here. That way, if a lot of people die in this room, we can send them through the easier section. But if a lot of people survive in this one, send them through the harder and slowly thin the numbers out. If we could do that with like this room as well, have an easier and harder room, we can adjust the challenge depending on the amount of survivors. Or who raids us, more importantly. Obviously, tribal raiders aren't going to survive as long as the Mafia are. We had a group of chickens join, which is all well and good. I was a bit more distracted by this thing walking onto the map. What if we have a fun children's themed room, you know, like full of toys or, you know, Lego bricks or whatever. We take away the safety pins and the upturned plugs and the bananas. We have it full of marbles and Lego. Put down a bed, you know, lots of fun little decorations. And then behind a retractable wall, we have this thing. Give them a real childhood nightmare. I kind of like that. We can't tame it right now. Ah, shit. Okay, how could we do that? We might be able to get like an animal tamer or something from a treasure chest. You know what we need? We need a grouper that we can dedicate to being the animal handler. Not only for the mascots, but also for the cringe corridor. What? Sorry? What are they? They're an interstellar uwu lover. Who isn't these days? What is an interstellar uwu lover? This, I assume, is... Oh my god. The Uwu mod where you have to collect them all by Punky Roo. They can also turn up in Manhunter packs, as I found at the hard way during testing. Uwu Platypi, Pikachu. It would make for a fantastic collection for the zoo, so I'll take one of each, ideally. The mod page does say collect them all. Why are they 40,000 years old? What? Oh my god, it's tiny. Well, there we are. Every good theme park needs a petting zoo, right? And actually, now that it's a lot more safely defended, we don't even necessarily need... Well, I say that. It's got freaking polar bears everywhere still. We could have them free range. But again, I feel like the polar bear issue might cause some problems there. We could put them here and kind of divert the path around it. Why is there a headless dude? Guerrero the barkeep. And then a dead bear. From chickens. From chickens. Oh, look right there. Uwu Chicky. Are you telling me that thing defeated Beefeater Joris? I mean, they are perpetually drunk. Wow. I guess don't fistfight these, basically. Uwus are tiny rare creatures on the rim. Easy to train, easy to keep. They are a delight to have around. Providing passive mood bonuses to your colonists. It's becoming increasingly common to collect them among the herb worlders. I like that. Okay. Life expectancy is ancient. Very old indeed. They never die. How did it defeat... Polar bear. I'll be sure to keep an eye out for more of those in the future. Okay, let's grab that one. I'll put them somewhere safe. A nice little safe collection. And passive mood boost too. Is he happy about that then? Or we have to go near it? That makes a lot more sense. Hey, there we go. My only question is, how do we plant them? Because if they slowly anesthetize you and our growers are trying to plant a whole field's worth, are they not going to permanently be unconscious? Horrible, horrible idea. Oh, look there too. Oh. Oh, do my eyes deceive me? The taste can be described. Sublime. Choco fuel. We get an industrial candy and an industrial chocolate that generates from that. And of course I have to take it because... Oh, I mean, it's named after Mr. Cringe. It'd be remiss of me not to for a start. Come on, Laffy, whenever you're ready. Well, we've got a show to get on with here, pal. You're taking a bloody long time about it. I don't think we have any more candy cane blocks to build this out of, so it's going to be a bit more rustic than the rest of it. Again, this is all just a test. When we want to build the actual thing, when we've got the traps down, the things we want to do, we'll just bulldoze all of this. I'll probably take it all away, and then we'll just flatten the whole mountain, throw up some pillars to stop it all caving in, and then we'll rebuild it from scratch. Do I even have any candy cane left? How much we got? Less than... Somewhere between 5 and 10. Okay, that's not going to get us very far, is it? Wood? Wood walls? Is that a bit flammable? Maybe a little bit too flammable, given that we're going to make one room ridiculously warm. How much granite have we got at this stage? 604? Okay, well, we're probably not going to be able to finish this one off in a hurry. Thank you, little sprinkles. Okay, that'll do it. How are we going to do this, then? Because we need to have this area here filled with so much heat it burns them. This area here filled with so much cold that it freezes them. But also they need to not obstruct the people trying to pass through. How the hell is this going to work? As far as I recall, prisoners can walk through open doors. I'm going to test it anyway, just to double check here. But an open door doesn't really let out much heat either. So if we can do that, will they escape? No. Ah. Oh, well, hang on. If they go into there, they'd still have to go through here. Okay, Cringe, come for a walk. Okay, let's pop this one open and then escape. And then escape. Go free. Shit. Right, okay. I mean, it's not the end of the world. We can still make it work. It's just going to be more of a pain in the ass. Oh, hang on. How are we going to do this? I see we've made a slight miscalculation there, haven't we? Shit. Worry about that one later. Let's go back to some of the original ideas. So we want a room that someone described as a hall of mirrors filled with IEDs. And I think the best way that we can make that work, so of course they're just going to walk around them if we do that right. If we have a bunch of these submersible walls in a kind of cross pattern, but then have one row raised and one row lowered with IEDs between, but randomly. So when they step forward, they might accidentally step on an explosive. God damn, this is going to be expensive, isn't it? One component per wall. Maybe we build a fabrication bench first. A little carried away there, I think. Oh, we've also got to build Cringe's Wondrous Workbench, which we'll go ahead and put over here by the bin. So that the second he finishes making something, he can just scoop it on in there. Vegetable milk extractor, huh? You're telling me there's an easier way to make milk chocolate than milking the groupers? Forcibly feeding them some very, very, very dangerous drugs in order to, you know, be able to milk them in the first place. Wouldn't it be terribly tragic if only a few minutes ago I purchased a whole bunch of Lactmax? So it turns out, after doing some testing, that the group of Loompas are more susceptible to drugs because they're smaller, right? So even though I had them set to the regular dosage, the potentially safe dosage, because they're shorter, they actually needed way less than that to be able to, you know, provide the chocolate milkies. But if we feed them a delicious dose of Lactmax that permanently gives them milkies, that, you know, means that we don't have to keep feeding them over and over and over, that should solve the problem. Or we could do the very boring, very sensible thing of just, you know, getting it from rice or coconuts. Well, that to me sounds very unnatural. That's it, line up, drink up, little sprinkles. And if you're wondering why not give it to the slime girls, absolutely not. Because then I get you people lining up in droves to buy all the chocolate out. I need some to send to market, otherwise it's going to destroy our market presence. That's just business 101. Gamer girl chocolate doesn't quite have the same sales potential, does it? Ah, why hello there, it's me, from 2 hours in the future. Turns out the gas network has a slight little bit of a fucky-wucky with it right now, so I've had to remove all of that. And on the plus side, I mean, the game runs great now. Look at this. We are speed. Is that 800, 900 ticks a second I'm seeing? I won't lie to you, I was a little iffy on the gas room in the first place. I think it's a little problematic for hopefully fairly obvious reasons, and I believe in the context of this series, maybe doesn't really work too well. You know, in a regular playthrough, it's a tool to your tool arsenal. Toolbox, that's the word. But in this particular playthrough, I do think we should probably try and keep things a little more lighthearted. Does seem a little tonally dissonant to have, you know, upturned plugs and Legos, haha, to full-on murderous gas room. It's a bit weird. I've always thought it was a little weird. It wasn't so bad when it was napalm launchers, but given that we can't build that yet, it's getting a little weird. So it's broken. We'll think of something better. There's so many ways I've got in this mod pack to kill individuals. Maybe now we build the ballista room. Honestly, I think I prefer that anyway. Something a lot more comical about them having to dodge ancient weapons. So, hot and cold room I think are done in as much as I can get them. Right now the temperature is just kind of average temperature. Acceptable room temperature in my honest opinion. Until we raise these barriers, it's always going to be like that. So we're going to have to wait for them to go into the maze, then raise the barriers. Then, I don't know, what, like barbecue / freeze them for a little while, then lower the barriers? I don't really know how we're going to do it, because it doesn't really work. So again, you need a clear path to let them through. So it's a little more complex. If anybody has a more elegant solution to this, I'm all ears. Now, in terms of research, I'm at a bit of an impasse, because we've got thick roof removal, which would let us replant the stinky mushrooms, the stinky trees. But we also have blowback operation, which means we can build those gun turrets and actually go for the doot room. And I'll be honest, I think I'm more into doot room than I am stinky mushroom tree. So I think without further ado, let's test the hot and cold rooms. See if they at least work in some way. So we're going to close the entrances to room 2 and 3. Of course, they're running it in reverse, so it's actually rooms 4 and 5. It's very confusing. Then this one is open. These ones are open. Fantastic. They got a straight line to the exit with that one. Okay, fantastic. Then all we need to do is wait for them to cross this threshold. This is where something like a pressure plate would work perfectly, but I couldn't find anything that had that effect. If they were to be able to step here, which then slams that shut, and then slams, say, these two shut, that would be good. That way we keep the temperature separate. Alternatively, I mean, there's got to be a way to do it. Put them on a conveyor belt? I've got my good friends creme brulee and apple pie there, ready to clock them over the head and drag them back to prison, just as they can see daylight at the other end of the tunnel. It's a little bit cruel. So without further ado, be free. Be free, my little prisoners. Escape. Yes! It's working. Endu is in the lead, making his way into the definitely not gas room. And here's speed, here's haste. Endu has already made it into the heating room. Oh no. Ooh, Platypi won. You brave fool. Cringe is seeing his moment back in the control room, and the entrance to the granite wall slams shut just before Professor is able to get there. Oh, there's another way. There's another way to freedom, she thinks. Oh, you fool. And with a thud, it slams shut behind her. Oh! Oh, so close, Endu. What happened? My God, he almost made it. Now we should see things heating up. 34 degrees, 38 degrees, 44. And in the room opposite, where Professor's bare ass is exposed to the elements, minus 42. Oh shit, man, it's 109. 90 degrees for Endu. The heat stroke's kicking in. The hypothermia is kicking in. It's a battle of love, loss, and separation. Who will die first? Will the extreme heat stroke kill him instantly before Professor succumbs to the cold? She's gone! Hypothermia, she is gone. Oh, poor sweet Endu. The insulation came into play there. Fortunately, having your bare ass out in very cold weather will do that. And now, we'll lower the barrier. We'll lower the barrier and let him see his mistake. The temperature will equalize pretty damn fast. Simultaneously, heat stroke and hypothermia. Oh no, poor sweet Endu. Look at that. My fiancé Professor died. His autonomy is violated. What does that mean? They know everything. I'm an open book, entirely vulnerable and without the shred of nuance. Oh, how terrible. But on the plus side, he saw a platypi. Oh. You know, I'm glad I froze your fiancé, honestly. Thank you, Apple Pie. Take him back. The winner of our first games. Man, he does not look happy. He's like staring into my soul. Ugh. And for Professor. Poor, sweet Professor. Thank you, Sprinkles. Alas, poor Endu. You knew her well. Professor. In fact, why am I throwing a skull on the floor like some sort of uncivilized brute? We've got skull spikes for that type of thing. Give me that. Ah, there we go. And we're all the closer to automated doots. What have you got for me? Industrial roasting. Oh, coffee? Nobody likes friggin' coffee. We could automatically produce clown horns. We could sell some clown armaments on the download. That seems pretty good. Fine, I'll take your friggin' coffee. I suppose we can sell it to the hotel guests. Well, she will always be by your side now. I mean, for God's sake, Sprinkles. He just watched his wife die, his fiancé die. You impaled her freaking head on a spike. And then you dooted at him. Oh, God. I made me laugh so much I'm lightheaded. Holy shit. Oh, no, that sounds pretty relevant to someone who's about to produce a staggering amount of IEDs. I don't think I've ever seen this before. Auto crane. Okay. And then we've got component assembler, advanced assembler, steel extractor. That sounds very nice. I really like the auto cookers. You know, the whole point of the factory. Oh, you got a chocolate factory with no actual chocolate factory in it. I think I've seen just about every freaking factory research besides that one. Research tray's broken again. Maybe it's my sanity. Maybe my sanity is the thing that's broken here. What are we looking for? Provisions, packing, wearable, and textiles. Cooking. What? Please tell me I'm going mad. And there is actually some sort of auto cooking. Oh, apparently it's under provisions packing. Liquor mixer, that sounds pretty good. Cannery. Conveyor oven. Okay. Oh, I had a moment there where I thought I'd really made a mistake. A chocolate factory series without the chocolate factory does seem a little bit poorly planned. We're gonna have to guess with this next trick and just hope it works, okay? So this was the room that had the kind of start of the deployable walls, and you know, I was kind of thinking we could just flip the levers, but I want it to be more automated. I want us to be the kind of silent observer more than the person basically killing them. At that point, we're just killing them. We're just doing it really inconveniently. So I found this mod that adds pressure plates. Those pressure plates, when you step on them, just become basically turn into cables, right? And I thought that in combination with the deployable barriers from vanilla security means that the enemy will step on it and that'll pop a wall up in front of them. So if we were to put that in front of it. So have it like this so that you've got those submerged. They walk in across it, and then that pops up behind them. Then if we have a bunch of those that they're forced to walk on to lower the barrier to walk through, and behind some of those just happen to be IEDs... you see what I'm getting at here? It's like a mystery guessing game, except behind one of the walls is a horrible explosive. I kind of like in Squid Game, where they jump on the glass panels and one might smash and one won't, except in this case, it's going to explode and probably take out a good half a dozen people and most of the room with it. You know, that makes way more sense. We're not doing things by half measures here, okay? The problem is I can't even test if it works because you can't trigger it with... Sprinkles, come here. You can't trigger this with your own people. That's another mod that we have in the pack. So we are going to have to just build it and hope for the best. And there we have it. Thank you, little Loompas. That is room 3 complete. I've decided we should make the maze more complicated as it goes through. And like I've said before, all of this is just us testing how it works. When we've got a brilliant idea, that's when we'll bulldoze it all and build something incredible. Now, this room is the one I'm most interested in finding out. It's also the room I can't test because of these not being triggered by our people, the pressure pads there. So some of these are turrets, and some of them are regular pressure pads. There is a visual difference. I'm not going to tell you which is which, though, if you don't know for the time being. And the only way to test that is when we get a raid. So, I mean, any time now, ideally. So I was thinking with this one, my only concern is that they're going to walk over this, and they're going to trigger the pressure pad, but it might not be long enough for the turret or the wall, whichever they get lucky with, to pop up behind them and shoot them. Or not. I think by that point, they'll have walked off and carried on and cut the power to it again. So that gave me a better idea on top of that. A, we would need to, you know, get down an auto bong or a dart turret, which I've had creme brulee working on. But then I thought that's a much better idea for this, rather than having, again, walls that we're controlling, because that's just basically murder at that point. Why not have a bunch of tranquilizer guns, and they have to get out of the maze before they're tranquilized, and obviously die of heat stroke or frostbite. That's a much better idea. That idea is so good that that's almost certainly going in the final maze. I think I'm going to put a pin in that one. Oh, and on the subject of that, gun turrets. Yeah, turret base A or turret base A Mark III with weapon-based high-tech targeting. Oh, so we can make the turrets more efficient with research. We might not want that, of course. We do want, you know, ideally the enemies to survive their ordeal here. Endu, I'm sorry, my friend. You're going to have to do another gauntlet run in a second just to see if this works. Obviously, if he gets to this one and takes the wrong path, there is a correct path here where you can survive it. But if he goes the wrong way, then, I mean, I can't really be held accountable, can I? We're not going to be able to test it anymore, though. And the other problem is this bit only works one way. Because if he steps on that there, it'll pop up in front of him, then he'll have to walk the other way, and then he'll just get stuck. He needs to be able to walk over at the other side. What if we could put him here, seal that up, and open this door so that he still thinks he can escape? I guess that could work. But what we can do, though, is make sure that those pressure pads are wired up correctly and they work the way I think they do. So let's do it. Mr. Cringe, gauntlet test number 2. Endu, will you make it out this time, my friend? Let's find out. 4, 3, 2, 1. Do it for Brexava? What was her name? Prisoner Endu is escaping. Off he goes into the first very empty but very foreboding room. Dark and full of bones. God, that'd be horrifying. I think I'll probably just go back to the prison. Okay, here he goes into the turret room. Let's see if this works as anticipated. So he is heading towards what I think is a turret on that side, but I don't entirely remember. So he stands on that. That blows up and it seals it. Oh, that's how they work. Oh, that's interesting, because it'll force them to run backwards while they're being shot at. Oh, you know what? That could work from that direction if we put more of a gap. If we put like a 1-block gap between it, that would work fine. Oh, that's weird that they work like that, but I get it. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. We'd have to dismantle it afterwards. So room number 3 we know works. Here he is going into room number 2. And you know what? He's dodged the first IED, took the right path on the other side too. There is one IED between him and safety. Will he turn upwards? Will his pathfinding do that? Or will he just go for the shortest route? Oh, no. Oh, no. He survived it! Staggering plays. I don't think we're going to be able to stop him. I think he's going to die in here. He's running backwards. He's retreating? Where's he going now? Is he genuinely going back to the prison? I just drafted everybody up to try and stop him as fast as possible. You know, I don't think it matters. I think he learned his lesson, don't turn upwards. Oh, you fool. Oh, no, he's never going to take another IED and survive it. Mr. Cringe, do you think you can, like, we can stop him, right? No, because the bloody prison door's open. Is there someone coming in? Sprinkles! Sprinkles, shut the door, for God's sake! Cringe, come down. Maybe we can disarm the ID before it blows up. We can uninstall it if we're really fast. Luckily, Andrew's had a few injuries here and there, and I couldn't possibly guess why. Is he going to come down this way? Oh, you absolute fool. Oh, God. Okay, that's fine. And then we'll just go ahead and reinstall that in your own time. Cringe, you need to wait there. Sprinkles, you're miles away. Oh, Christ. He's going to get shot in this room. There's nothing I can do to stop him. Can we uninstall this one? Oh, God, go, Mr. Cringe. What a horrible outcome. This is completely opposite of what this gauntlet was meant for. 6, 5, 4. Ah, shit. Okay, we're not going to have time. Go ahead and uninstall that one too before the guy gets himself horribly shot. Don't walk the other way, Andy, for God's sake. Ah! Well, I mean, it's okay, because if he's walking over it in that direction, he should be able to avoid all the turrets in that way. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I don't think we have anything to worry about. Is he genuinely escorting himself back to the prison? Yeah, he's hungry. He's hungry after his day trip out there. Brilliant. No! What? What do you mean blood Ross? He wasn't bleeding. Oh, you idiot. Sprinkles? I just drafted him up to try and body block him. Must have walked right into him. God damn it. Andy went through so much. I was hoping we'd keep him alive for a little longer. If I had to resurrect Maximillian right now, you'd be sure I'd be bringing that guy back. Well, we have to reset quite a lot of the actual setup here. I'm going to have to make sure all of these power conduits below this are removed. And I do think putting that extra 1-block gap in front of them would work really well. I mean, if we rotated it around the other way. Where are you putting that? No. What are you doing, you idiot? Just reinstall it. Well, I mean, as far as testing goes, that wasn't terrible today. It could be a lot better. I think the ID room is really boring, so I'm probably going to tear all this out because it's just not that fun, is it? It really is just we're going to make someone walk over an ID. That's not clever. There's nothing amusing about that one. This is a little more amusing. This is just very on brand. I need more thematic ways of killing them. I like the hot and cold rooms. I really do. And I can imagine in the full facility, if we have, say, you know, kind of convection ovens on one side of that, or the automatic conveyor ovens, making the chocolate on the other side, freezers with the chocolate storage to make it all, you know, thematic. That's exactly what I want to do with this. Not just to build some horrible, dingy, concrete dungeon, but to actually have it incorporated and be part of the factory too. That's how Wonka killed his kids. We didn't just have like a torture rack in the other room. I think we might need to take a vote on what traps are definitely going in. I think I'm going to get rid of the ID trap. I love the idea of the dart traps being in this room, the tranquilizer rifles, to make it fully automatic that way. No submerged walls, no control over it. The only control I want to have over the entire thing is locking the doors behind them. So they're forced to move forward, they can't retreat, so they are stuck in certain rooms. Other than that, I want everything to be as automated as possible. That should be part of the challenge, right? Although, the clown horns stun, don't they? So if we had the room with fire and ice in it, filled with clown horns, constantly dooting and stunning them, that would be driving them mad in the process. That could be fun. Anyway, I'm going to come up with... I'm going to start another save. And I'm going to start planning out just a bunch of stuff in God mode. It's not really very practical to be having poor Sprinkles and Lappy build a whole thing and then for me to say tear it down 10 minutes later. So I'm going to come up with some plans in God mode in a separate save, and then we'll pause it over to here and leave them to build it after I'm kind of happy with it. Not obviously copy the design directly over, but kind of recreate a similar thing, best theming as possible. I think what we need to really do is bite the bullet and hollow out the entire mountain. Instead of carving out the mountain and trying to fit traps into the smallest area possible, really carve the whole thing out, hold it up with pillars, and then, you know, section places off depending on how we want to use it. That could work a lot better. And finally, of course, thank you all for watching this strange adventure. It's a weird series this time around because it's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, a lot of stuff I would normally edit out, but that's also a big part of it, planning all this crap out. So not really sure what to do with a lot of these episodes, so hopefully it's still enjoyable regardless. Thank you for bearing with me over the past week as well. Today's episode is late because of technical issues, as you would imagine. Lots of stuff to try and fix, but more importantly, I'm looking for somewhere to live. So that does tend to take up a little bit of time here and there, so apologies if there are any other late content over the course of this week. Thank you to Emily, Q, Mega Oscar Pone, Sammy Meccan123, Biv, Slippinip, Psychofire, Adam Spleen, Chase, Grant the Hero, Mathania, Sweetsy, Zetlock, Commander Royal, Cobalt, Kitsune, That Gay Commie, John Viral, Spongy Bum Monster, and Jess Spazzy for their support on Patreon. Oh. Did all of that without taking a single breath. Speedrunning real life. Thank you to Mr. Streamers, Wrinkly Ding Dong, Metman, Mantle, Quivalar, Justice for Ilya, Frobear, Bare Minimum, Pumbly, Revan, Lively Life, Pim, William, Rommel DK, Nox Immortalis, Skylar Drake, and Mystic370 as well for their support in addition to those other names I said earlier. See you all tomorrow. I hope.